We'll hear this week's weather forecast later in the show, but for most parts of Nebraska, it's been incredibly mild for months. We talked with UNL Extension educator Tom Dorn earlier this week about how that affects grain stored in bins across the state.
This year's been one of the best falls and winters for grain storage management that I've had any experience with.
As we speak, it's 60 degrees out right now. How does this weather affect it? When we talk about how often you should be checking your grain and what to look for, how does this weather affect it?
People should be checking their grain bins at least once a month, all through the winter and spring months. If there's any differences in the grain temperature throughout the bin, they need to be running the air on the grain so that they can keep that temperature in the grain uniform throughout the bin.
What is your recommendation for how to take temperature and how many spots in the bin you're supposed to do it for?
What I like to do, the best way to check the temperature is to have a grain thermometer that can be poked down into the grain. And I recommend that you stay about 2 to 3 feet away from the bin wall, and then take readings about every 15 to 20 feet apart around the perimeter of the bin, and about at least 3 or 4 places toward the center of the bin, so that you can check the temperature throughout the bin. And if there's any from the lowest to the highest point in terms of temperature in the bin, if that exceeds about 8 degrees, you should be running the air to make it more uniform.
And before that, the other signs are what? Moisture hitting you in the face when you walk up and start the aerator on top of the bin?
Yeah, when you're checking your bin, what I like to do is have them open the hatch at the top, go down, start the fan, because most of the time they're going to be alone. And then climb back up quickly right after you turn on the fan, so you can lean into the hatch and then feel if is the air coming out of there more warmer than you would have expected. Do you have a musty smell? Do you notice moisture getting on your face? Is there moisture condensing on the inside of the roof? Any of those signs are signs that there may be a hot spot in that bin.
As we go through this month of February, where would you like to be ideally with temperature as we go into March?
Going into March, February and March, I would like to have the grain warmed up to about 40 degrees. And if you're going to hold it into May or beyond, it should be 60 degrees by May 1st.